Hey everyone, welcome back to Shade Review. Today's video should be super interesting because I'm going to be showing off my personal collection of Ray-Ban sunglasses. So a few statistics here before we start off the video. We have a total of 89 Ray-Ban sunglasses here. Right here on the table, I believe is like 64, and they actually all didn't fit on the table, so I have a bunch here on the floor. And this is in fact my entire collection of Ray-Ban sunglasses. And in this video, I'm going to be trying on every single one of these frames individually. And the reason why I'm doing that is to give you guys a good idea of basically the vast majority of all Ray-Ban's frames. I'm sorry if I'm overexposed right here. This is darker than my face with the bright lights, but I'm going to switch to a different view here in a second, and I'm going to try on every single one of these frames individually and kind of show off how they look. And yeah, this video is definitely going to take a long time to make, but it's definitely for the kind of die-hard Ray-Ban enthusiast. Now, one other thing that I do want to mention here before I start trying these frames on is this is my collection of Luxottica made Ray-Ban sunglasses. I do have a pretty big collection of Bausch & Lomb vintage Ray-Ban sunglasses as well, but this video is only going to be focused on the Luxottica ones, and most of these you can still buy today with a few exceptions of discontinued frames. All right, so we have 89 different frames to try in here, so I'm going to try to definitely move through these quickly, and I'm also going to try to not make a lot of cuts and waste your time, but if there's an extra couple ahs and uhs, please bear with me. The first pair here is the small size of the classic Aviator large metal, model number RB3025, and these are like in the smaller size with 55mm lenses. I do have all three different sizes of the original Aviator here, so that was the small size. Now popping on the standard size, which has 58mm lenses. These are in the different colorway, of course. As you can see here, I do have a couple of the larger and smaller versions of all these sunglasses, and the main reason why I do have all three different sizes, even though typically I do prefer the 58mm lens size, is so if I have friends come over and try on some sunglasses, I can get them kind of fitted for the perfect frame, and I have all the different frames to try on. But again, these are part of my personal collection, so this is the larger size with a 62mm lens size of the Aviator. And then we also have the Aviator here with the flat temples. Sometimes the stands here aren't actually perfect because if a frame is kind of extra large, it's not going to sit in the little inserts or the slots that good. So if I drop one, that's why. So here we can see they have the flat temples, and the model number is RB3689 for these, and these are the 58mm lens size. These are a more durable pair of Aviator frames, in my opinion, in my experience, with their thicker temples. And this was actually an advanced design of the original Aviator, but people still prefer the look of the classic Aviator. And I'm actually one of those people who do prefer the classic look, but it is nice to have that extra model number to have added rigidity here. And then on the bottom, we have a pair of Ray-Ban titanium made frames with flat lenses. The model number here is really hard to read, but it is RB 8125 here. And this is the titanium Aviator with 58mm lenses as well. These frames are extremely lightweight, and these have polymer or CR39 lenses. They also do sell them with an all glass lens as well, and those are the polarized versions. So the non-polarized versions are plastic, and the polarized versions are all glass. Ray-Ban does a terrible job of explaining this on their website, but you heard it here first. Those also do have titanium nose rests, which feel really nice on the nose. Next, we have the row of clubmasters here. So here we have the small size of the clubmaster, the 49mm size. I really do like these, and these are probably my favorite size of the clubmaster. Then I also do have the standard size, which has 51mm lenses. And this is kind of the more modern clubmaster size. A lot of frames are being oversized now, but again, the classic original was the 49. These frames are the 51 here, and I do like these a lot. Then we do have the, I believe these are an Asian or universal fit clubmaster that a lot of people don't even know about, which have 58mm lenses right here. Yeah, these are definitely very, very big and offer that really bold and oversized look. And we can note these are an Asian fit frame because the model number is actually RB3016F, and the F means it is an Asian fit, so a low bridge fit, and the frames are just bigger because that's what that market kind of likes as far as the styling when these frames were produced. At the bottom here, we have a frame that was very, very popular about 8 years ago. They're not nearly as popular anymore. These are the Ray-Ban Clubmaster Oversized, I believe, and the model number here is RB4175, and these are a really interesting pair of frames, definitely a big difference between these and the originals, and I do like these as well. They do have all glass lenses, and they're definitely going to be heavy, and they also have really bad coverage just because the design really doesn't wrap around the face, so they have very, very bad coverage from some, but they are made in Italy, and just a really fun pair of frames there. Now at the bottom here, we have a pair of titanium Ray-Ban Caravans with gold-plated frames. These are absolutely beautiful. They have polarized all glass lenses. They're extremely lightweight, and the model number here is RB8136M. And these frames look really good with their flat lenses as well. This is definitely one of my favorite Ray-Ban frames that I have in today's video. I just really do like the look of these frames, and I don't wear them near as much as I probably should because I have a ton of other sunglasses from different brands as well. And probably the biggest shame with all these frames is the fact that I'm actually not able to wear all these frames all the time, and a lot of them just really get dusty. So if you see some dusty frames, it's probably just because I haven't worn them in a really long time. All right, next up we have here is the small Caravan, I believe, and the model number here is RB3136, and the lens size here is 55mm lens size. But these frames are also produced in a larger lens size, which I also do have here, which have 58mm lenses. So here are the standard size with 58mm lenses. Both of these look really, really good, and you really can't go wrong with either one. Personally, for me, I like both the 55 and the 58mm lens size on my face. It just depends if I'm going out for the oversized look or for a more subtle look, if I'm gonna wear, which one on which day. Then the next pair we have here is a pair of Chromance Ray-Ban sunglasses with these beautiful blue lenses. And the model number here is RB3543, and these have the polarized Chromance lenses. These do a really good job of enhancing the colors and the clarity and the contrast with their Chromance lenses. They're extremely, extremely lightweight as well. Just a really good pair of frames. Now under this, I believe we have the Ray-Ban cockpit. Sometimes it's hard to tell from looking at it behind, and these are the smaller size of the cockpit, which have a 56mm lens size, and the model number is RB3362 here. And these frames are just a little bit too small for my face, so I really don't wear these too often. Typically, if I'm going to wear a cockpit, I'm going to wear the larger size, which I'm going to pop on here in just a second. And this larger lens size, I actually don't even know off the top of my head, so I have to read it here. These have 59mm lenses, and yeah, this is going to be the size that I'm going to wear more often if I do wear these. But these frames are not really popular at the moment, so honestly, I'm not really wearing the cockpit too much. But styles come in and out of fashion all the time. And they're definitely a classic in Ray-Ban's lineup, so I definitely couldn't get rid of these. And the next pair we have here is a classic Ray-Ban round metal frame, model number RB3447, and these have 47mm lenses. This is the small size. As you can see here, I have these in all 3 different lens sizes. So that is the small size. Let me go ahead and pop on the medium size here. The medium size has 50mm lenses, and I really don't wear the Ray-Ban around that much, so these frames are actually pretty dusty. They don't get a ton of wear or face time. And let me go ahead and pop on the large frames here. And these large frames have 53mm lenses. So here with the 53mm lens size, you're getting a more bold and oversized look. Personally, I don't like this look too much on my face, but again, I do have all 3 sizes of some of these classic frames, just so my friends who come over to my house can try on all different sizes of the frames, and they are still in my personal collection for that reason. My company doesn't own these frames or anything like that. Next up we have here is the Ray-Ban Jack, model number RB35 65, and these I think are the standard size. I'm not entirely sure, but they have 53 millimeter lenses, and they have a really good look to them. Definitely a little bit different than the Ray-Ban Round. The styling definitely breaks it up a good amount. And then last here on this tray, we have this pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses, which is these really cool kind of nylon inserts. And these are the RB 3647, and these have 51 millimeter lenses. Now, again, I'm not sure if they do make a larger or smaller size, but these do have the 51 millimeter lenses here, and these honestly have a really killer look to them. All right, so now moving down to the next batch of 20, we have the Ray-Ban New Wayfarer in the 3 different lens sizes. These are the small with 51 millimeter lenses, and also I forgot to read you the model number of these. The New Wayfarer are the RB2132. So right now I have on the small size, which has 52 millimeter lenses, and then here we have the standard size, which has 50 millimeter lenses. Personally, I prefer the standard size with 55 millimeter lenses. I really do like the look of these, and I do like them in their rubberized coating here. These others do not have the rubberized coating, and because of that, they don't get quite as much wear time. Now here on the bottom, we have again the New Wayfarer in the largest lens size, which has 58 millimeter lenses. And these frames do offer a really oversized and very bold styling to them, but still kind of classy. I do like the New Wayfarer, that's for sure. They're kind of a timeless style that was actually developed under Luxottica's leadership in the early acquisition of Ray-Ban. Now underneath here we have this pair, which I believe is the Andy, and these are the model number 4202, and these have 55 millimeter lenses. These are a definitely very understated pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses that not a lot of people know about, but they really do look good in my opinion. I think they still do produce these to this day. And then underneath this, we have the Ray-Ban Justins in the 54 millimeter lens size, which is the larger size. They also do make them in a smaller size that I don't have. And the model number here is RB4165 here for the Justins. These do have the rubberized frames, which I really do like the feel of these. And then they have these really nice red mirror flash lenses here. And then let's go ahead and move on over to this pair, which is the original Ray-Ban Wayfarer. And I've actually got a ton of DMs from people asking if they could buy this pair of frames off of me, because this is the original Ray-Ban Wayfarer, handmade in Italy, in the smaller 47 millimeter lens size. I've actually had offers up to $500 for this pair of frames. And honestly, I just gotta have all 3 sizes. I cannot sell it. I really don't wear these too often because they are very uncomfortable here in the back because they are much shorter. And then here, they also touch my eyelids. And then here, they kind of touch my cheeks as well. So I really don't prefer this small lens size. And I wish I could sell it to people, but I just can't. These are, you know, part of my personal collection, and I need them in all 3 sizes. Again, that way people can come over and try them all on. And unfortunately, if they do try in the small size, I can't get them another one because they were discontinued. But you can still find them on eBay occasionally. This is not a very faked size. Most Ray-Bans sold on eBay, probably like 90% are all fake. But if you find unique ones with unique sizes, typically they're not going to be fake. But either way, I still avoid shopping on there. Now we have the original Wayfarer with the standard size, which has 50 millimeter lenses. And these, again, are my preferred size for this classic, beautiful pair of Wayfarer sunglasses. And I just really do like these. They're definitely one of my top Ray-Ban sunglasses that I have on the list, even though it's very generic. You see a lot of people wearing them, but you just can't beat the feel and the look of the original Ray-Ban Wayfarer, especially in the 55, and especially in the 50 millimeter lens size for me. Now we also do have these in the 54 millimeter lens size, same model number and everything, but these frames look completely different than the original Ray-Ban Wayfarers. They don't have quite as much of a tilt to them, and that extra 4 millimeters just completely throws off the frames for me. If you have a larger face, then definitely you'd want to probably get these larger 54 millimeter Wayfarers, but for the average person, I would definitely not recommend these, and I don't wear these nearly enough as you would probably think I would, but I just don't love the look, and I don't like the actual weight of them either. They're very, very heavy. The larger size is gonna be heavier than the smaller size. Next up we have here is a pair of Ray-Ban Meteor frames, and the lens size actually is not written on the frame at all, so I'm actually not sure. These are definitely a very old pair. I actually got these back when Ray-Ban had discontinued the Meteor frame, so I paid a decent amount of money for these, and now they're discontinued, so they're pretty popular. But the model number here is 4168, and these have a really cool look to them as well. Kind of a little bit of a cat eye there, and definitely a throwback to the 1960s with the Meteor styling. I also believe I do have these in a different colorway that we're probably going to get to later in the video. And next up, we have one of my favorite, if not my favorite Wayfarer style of all time. It is the Wayfarer Light Force frames with 52mm lenses. Now the model number here is 4198. And these frames are extremely lightweight. You can wear these frames all day long. They have Ray-Ban's very rare P3 Plus lenses, which you can't find very often. They actually say that here in the inner temple, the frames. They are made in Italy. Again, they weigh nothing and they look really good. I love the matte frames. They just look so, so good. They have very nice all metal hinges. And again, this is probably my favorite Ray-Ban Wayfarer frame. All right, moving on to this side, we have the Ray-Ban Caribbean, and the model number here is RB2248. They have 52mm lens size. I think they make these in a couple of lens sizes. I'm not honestly entirely sure, but I think this 52mm lens size is the smaller size. A good looking pair of frames made out of a beautiful acetate material. Really nice 7-barrel all-metal hinges, very classy, very nice. I do like the look of these. Next we have here is the Ray-Ban Bill, model number RB2198, and these have 56mm lenses. I do really, really like these as well. Beautiful acetate frames. I love the brown B15 lens here as well. Really, really nice stuff. Definitely one of my favorite kind of acetate aviator style frames. And then next up we have here is the Ray-Ban Inverness RB2191 with the 54mm lenses. These look really, really good as well. These are a pair of frames that Arnold Palmer wore and made famous. Really cool styling. I do like these a lot. Next up here we have just a kind of classic Ray-Ban Aviator frame with the really cool mirrored polarized lenses. Really nice here. I do really like this pair of frames. I just really like the looks of them with the polarized lenses and with the frames, the gunmetal frames, I believe. Just a cool combination there. And then next up here on the bottom, we have a pair of these Ray-Ban Powderhorn, definitely 1970s style. So the model number here is RB4357, and they have 58mm lenses here, and just a kind of cool 1970s style. I think they have all glass lenses. I'm not sure. You'd have to watch my original review. Yeah, I think they have all glass lenses, which make them not quite as sporty as you'd want them to be, because they're kind of made for like a skiing pair of frames, but you wouldn't want to wear an all glass lens while skiing, but just still definitely a really cool pair. Next up here we have the Ray-Ban RB 4340 with the 50mm lenses, and these are the Ray-Ban Wayfarer Ease frames. These are basically identical to the original Ray-Ban Wayfarer frame, but these don't have nearly as much of a tilt as those originals do. That's why they're called the Wayfarer Ease. And these frames are also made out of a propionate material instead of the all acetate material that the originals are made out of. I really, really do wish that Ray-Ban would make the Wayfarer Ease with a acetate frame instead of a propionate frame, because you get kind of more pretty colors in the acetate with tortoise colorways. And but yeah, those are really, really nice. And again, those are one of my top favorite Wayfarer styles for sure as well. Next up we have here is a pair of Ray-Ban Orion frames. They're kind of like a more circled off Wayfarer style. These model number is 2199, and these have 52mm lens size. They're made out of a beautiful acetate material. I really, really do like this colorway with the B15 lenses. Definitely an underrated style frame, and Ray-Ban recently brought these back. For the longest time these were discontinued and you could only get them in a vintage style, so I'm really happy that they brought those frames back. 7-barrel all metal hinges, really nice stuff there. And taking a look here at the bottom, we can see a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses, and I actually don't know the name of these yet. These are the Ray-Ban Laramie. Model number RB2201 with 54 millimeter lenses. These definitely have a much more of a cat eye effect to them, and definitely kind of like a 1970s vibe to these frames as well. These frames I don't wear nearly as often as some of the other ones do, but definitely cool pair of frame to have in the collection. I believe those are made out of an acetate material as well. Next up we have here, if I can put these back, is the Ray-Ban Mr. Burbank. I really do like the Mr. Burbank, model number RB2283 with 55 millimeter lenses. These have beautiful acetate frames with all glass lenses and just offer a really kind of classy and a subtle styling to them. Just really nice stuff here. As you can tell, I do really like Ray-Ban acetate frames with their 7-barrel all-metal hinges and all glass lenses. It's really, you know, good quality stuff for the most part, even though they are made by Luxottica. And they're really a good price as well, because you can get any one of these for around like $180. So acetate frames, which is very high quality, a metal stem that runs through them all glass lenses, 7-barrel all-metal hinges, all for $180 is just really affordable. Next pair we have here is the Nomad, and the model number here is RB2187. These have 54 millimeter lenses. These offer a really interesting look, and these don't get too much FaceTime lately. I don't really kind of like that really thick temples here. But they definitely do look good from the front, in my opinion. All right, so we got another fresh batch here. These are the original Ray-Ban Aviator frames, but they have these really cool evolved lenses. So when you walk outdoors, they're going to darken to, I believe, a category 3 lens. So kind of cool, kind of transition technology there with those evolved lenses. Underneath that, we have a pair of Ray-Ban hexagonal frames, and the model number here is RB3748. These have 51 millimeter lenses, and these I believe are the standard size of these frames. I also do have them here in the larger lens size right underneath it. And let's go ahead and pop those frames on, and these have 54 millimeter lenses. So here we can see the larger 54 millimeter lenses, and these are very dusty. I guess I really haven't worn these too often. So I'm definitely gonna have to clean those off later, but definitely a cool style. And next up we have here is a really cool pair of Ray-Ban frames. These frames are discontinued, but they have photochromic lenses, and they're going to turn to a really nice brown color when you walk outside, but they're going to really increase the contrast of the outside world. They're gonna make everything kind of really bright in their state right here, so you can wear these all day long without any issue, but when you walk outdoors, they're going to darken. And the model number here is hard to read, but is RB3422Q, and these have leather bits that surround them. Very rare, very hard to get a hold of. Now let's go ahead and take a look here at the pair underneath it, and this is a pair of Ray-Ban Aviators as well with the evolved wash lenses. These start, I believe, at a category 2 and then darken to a category 3, but they are photochromic as well. Just a really good looking pair of frames. You can wear these indoors with the category 2 lenses, and then you can step outside, and they're going to, of course, darken when they're exposed to UV rays. Now let me go ahead and pop on this pair of frames, and this is the Ray-Ban Olympian number 1 RB2319 with 62 millimeter lenses. These have a really cool look with the metal frame and then the acetate lenses or lens inserts, and then we can see they offer really good coverage from the sun as well. Definitely a very underrated pair. Absolutely a classic pair of frames. Underneath that we have another classic, which is the Ray-Ban Predator, I believe, a model number RB2027, and these have 62 millimeter lenses. Again, a really good wraparound style. I typically don't wear a lot of wraparound frames, but these are definitely really good. They are made in Italy, like most of the frames that we've talked about in today's video. Even if I haven't mentioned it, they're typically going to be made in Italy. I think actually everything I talked about has been made in Italy so far. Next up here we have the Ray-Ban Ballerama RB 4089 with 62 millimeter lenses. These frames are really good looking. I really do like these. Definitely very understated. They do offer that wraparound style, which I typically don't like, but I do like these. They feel really good. The frames are beautiful as well. And then next up here, we have another pair of Ray-Ban Meteor frames, and these have 50 millimeter lenses, and the model number here is RB2168, and these have beautiful looking polarized kind of purple lenses, so they offer a really interesting outlook, and I really do like these as well. I've probably said I really do these as well 1,000 times. I do apologize for that, but of course, all these frames are my collection, so my personal collection, so it makes sense that I like them. And then we can see the Ray-Ban Frank model number RB3857, and these have 51 millimeter lenses, and I think they also make these in a larger lens size, but I'm not entirely sure. But this is a really cool kind of similar style to the Ray-Ban round metal. All right, next up here we have the Ray-Ban Clubmaster double bridge frames. The model number here is RB3816. These have 51 millimeter lenses, and I don't think they made them in a larger lens size. I think these frames are now discontinued, but these frames are really, really cool. I do like the double bridge here, and definitely a really interesting look. Next here we have the Ray-Ban, I believe these are called the New Wayfarer or something similar to that, or the Wayfarer 2, Wayfarer 2 I think they're called, and the model number here is RB2185, and they have 55 millimeter lenses. I think they made these frames in 2 different lens sizes. These frames never really took off nearly as much as Ray-Ban thought they were going to, and I personally really don't wear these frames at all lately for whatever reason. And next up here we have the Ray-Ban Cats 5000, and the model number here is RB4125, and these have 59 millimeter lenses. Just a really cool pair of frames, very similar to some of Varney's earlier frames as well as far as the styling goes. Just a cool pair of Aviator frames. Next up here we have a pair of Ray-Ban shooter frames with the bullet hole here in the bridge, and these are the RB3138 frames with 58 millimeter lenses, which is the standard size. They also do make these in a larger lens size, which has like 61 millimeter lenses or something like that. And these are the Ray-Ban stateside frames, and they are RB4356, and they have 58 millimeter lenses. There's also a really cool pair of frames. I believe these do have plastic lenses, but I really can't remember off the top of my head, and they have a really cool kind of 3-tone style to them. Now let's go ahead and pop on these. These are the Ray-Ban Outdoorsman with the sweat bar, and these frames are extremely, extremely dusty. Not because I don't wear them, but just because of the environment that I had found them on my desk in the back of my desk. And the model number here is really hard to read, but it is RB3030, and these have 58 millimeter lenses with the cable temples that are going to wrap around the ear, and these are actually pretty comfortable wraparound temples. They fit the face really good, and these are gonna be good for if you're fishing or doing outdoors activities and don't want your frames to fall off your face, but you don't want the ugly kind of leash in the back of your head. These are going to be really a really fantastic option. And next up we have here is a pair of Ray-Ban, actually do the bottom one first. These are the Ray-Ban Wings, and because they don't have a traditional bridge, we don't actually have a lens size here, but these are the Ray-Ban Wings, and personally, again, these aren't my cup of tea, but they are definitely a very classic pair of Ray-Ban frames. The model number here is RB3597. I'll put those on the table because they're so big, they take up a lot of room, and they just kind of tend to bounce everything off of it. And then let me go ahead and pop on these, which are the Wings number 2, model number RB3697. And again, they don't have a lens size because it's just a shield style lens. These frames I actually really do like a lot better than the original Wings, which have more of a pilot shaped lens. These frames offer more of a kind of, you know, I guess Oakley Sutro styling to them, if you will, which is very trendy at the moment. Taking a look here at the bottom pair, we have a pair of Ray-Ban original Wayfarer frames, but they have a double bridge to them. So here we can see a metal bridge on this pair of frames. The model number here is RB4540, and these have 50 millimeter lenses, and these frames are really good looking. I do like these a lot as well. And then last up on this group, we have a pair of Ray-Ban Jeffrey sunglasses. They have 55 millimeter lenses, and they have model number of RB2190. And these frames I do really like as well. Again, I like these acetate frames with all glass lenses, just a really good style. And yeah, let me go ahead and grab some more frames. All right, to end out the video here, we have all the frames that were originally on the floor in that first video clip. And we're just gonna go through these as fast as I possibly can, because I know your time is valuable, but hopefully you kind of can see a pair that really catches your eye, and maybe that'll help you potentially make a purchase. This pair of frames is the folding Ray-Ban round, and they are the RB3532 with 47mm lenses, so I guess that's a small lens size for this pair of frame. I'm not entirely sure. Next up, we have an ultra lightweight pair of Ray-Ban Wayfarer style frames but with no accents. These are the RB4640, and they have 50mm lenses, so classic Ray-Ban Wayfarer styling to them, but they are missing those metal accents, and they are very, very lightweight. They're also very cheap feeling, but they are made in Italy. Now we have a pair of folding Ray-Ban Wayfarer frames, and the model number here is RB4105, and these have 50mm lenses. Just a really good pair of frames. I do love that you can just fold these frames up very easily and then simply pop them in your top pocket just like that. Now I also do have this pair of frames with the larger lens size, 54mm lenses, and the model number there is the same. And here we can see they do offer that more bold and very oversized styling. These pair of frames might be on the chopping block because I just really don't wear them nearly as much that I do. I just don't wear them that much anymore. Now, continuing with the folding theme, why not? We have a very, very rare pair of Ray-Ban folding Clubmaster sunglasses. These have polarized, beautiful gradient lenses. These are a part of Ray-Ban's P3 Plus edition, so very high quality lenses. These have 51mm lenses, and the model number here is RB2176 here. So just a beautiful pair of frames with their silver metal accents here, and just beautiful gradient polarized lenses. Again, I've had a lot of offers to buy this pair of frames off me, and I've accepted none of them, and I'm not going to accept any offers either. So do not send me a message because I'm not going to respond to it. Now, next one we have here is a folding pair of Ray-Ban Aviator frames. So they have that really cool folding style. These have 58mm lenses. I love this lens color, which has the gradient brown lens color to them. They look really, really great, but it is RB3479. And let me go ahead and grab another pair here. So next up we have here is a pair, and I think these have been discontinued for a while, another hard to read one, but it is RB4153, and they have 53mm lenses. They have this kind of cool acetate style front with metal that surrounds them, and they are very, very impractical. You can see there's a massive gap to let something in unprotected, so not a very practical pair of frames, but definitely a good looking one, and those aren't really too trendy anymore. The styling's not really too trendy anymore. Those came out in, I think, around 2014 or 15. Next up we have here is the Ray-Ban RB2447. These have 47mm lenses, beautiful acetate inserts with metal drilled into them to make the connection there. I do like those a lot, especially with the gunmetal accents. Now we have here is the Ray-Ban Marshall, and I think these are discontinued as well, but the model number is RB3648, and these have 54mm lenses, and I think they made these in a larger and a smaller size, but I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head. But definitely a really cool pair of frames. Then we have the Ray-Ban General, and the model number here is RB3561, and these have 57mm lenses. I really do love this kind of bold style here with the lenses, and I really do like the metal bridge there as well, the top bridge, really interesting. It's kind of like a fake sweat bar, but it actually doesn't work as a sweat bar because it doesn't make contact with the face and have any of the properties of the acetate, which is kind of wrap the sweat around the bar, versus these that's just flat. Next up, we have a pair of Ray-Ban Light Ray RB4786 with 55mm lenses. These frames are extremely lightweight. Like, I think they're literally about 10 grams. So you can wear these frames all day long without any discomfort. But unfortunately, if the wind blows really hard from behind, they actually might even fly off because they barely fit on the face with their titanium temples. But definitely a cool kind of double bridge pair of frames. And next up here, we have a very, very dusty pair of frames. These don't get any wear time at all anymore, unfortunately. These are the Ray-Ban Club Round frames, model number RB4748, and these have 51mm lenses. These are, yeah, very, very dusty, very cloudy, because I don't wear them often. And I think they did discontinue them. These say Ray-Ban T, so these are actually made in China, I believe. Next up we have here, and I didn't forget about this pair, is the Ray-Ban Smart Wayfarer. I forgot the exact name of it, but I think it's called the Ray-Ban Stories. And these actually have microphones built into them and Bluetooth and speakers, and they have cameras, really, really cool. And then I also do have the new Ray-Ban Meta Smart glasses, I think they're called, and these you can actually live stream with. I made my original review, I tested them out, I like them, and I put them in the box and then never wore them again. They're just very heavy, very bulky, and they're pretty cool as well. Like, they're definitely very cool. They're just not, you know, a practical pair of sunglasses, and I have a million other beautiful pairs of frames that I can be wearing. I don't need to be wearing a smart, you know, pair of sunglasses. I really do like listening to music with these. If you're out in a park or something like that, it does a really good job of sending the music kind of into your ear, but you can still hear your surroundings, where you can't as good with AirPods, even though they do have the transparency mode. But I definitely prefer the safety of these, being aware of your surroundings with these more than AirPods. But again, obviously the quality of AirPod Pros are so much better than these. So next up here we have the Ray-Ban Wayfarer Light Ray. These frames again weigh probably about 10 ounces. The model number here is RB4210. These are titanium temples and really, really lightweight. Just a really cool pair of frames. I've been wanting to buy a pair of these frames with the black colorway for the longest time, and I just cannot find one. These are the original Wayfarer style. They also did make a new Wayfarer style, which I did have at one point in the black colorway, but these with the flash lenses are also really cool. Again, the wind definitely feels like it could blow them off very easily. They don't sit on the face too well, but you can wear them all day long, especially when driving in the car without any discomfort. Next up here we have the Ray-Ban Denim Wayfarer, model number RB2140, just like the original Wayfarer. And these are actually the Asian fit, so they have an F and they have 52mm lenses. And they are made in Italy here. And, you know, just a kind of cool and interesting pair of frames. These frames go in and out of style. Right now, denim's really not in style to be wearing on your face. Next up here, we have a Ray-Ban round pair of frames, very similar to the ones that we reviewed in a previous video, or I should say earlier in the video, not in a previous video. These are the 50mm lens size, as well as the cool kind of purple flash lenses. Next up we have here is the Ray-Ban Aviator Light Ray. Again, super lightweight. It's really hard to describe how lightweight these frames are. If you put them on a table and it's remotely windy, they're gonna blow off the table. That's how lightweight these frames are. They have 56mm lenses, and the model number here is RB4211. And again, these are a great pair of frames to wear in the car if you're driving and you just want to wear something that's going to block the sun rays and help protect your eyes and not mess with your nose at all. Like, you can wear these frames your entire life and not have any problems or have to take them off your face and rub your nose at all, ever. Just really, really cool stuff. Now, all the light ray frames are discontinued, unfortunately. So yeah, you can't get them really easily. The good news is I don't believe they were very faked, because you can't really fake titanium, and they're kind of hard to produce. And they actually were very expensive originally as well. So if you find them on popular auction websites, they're probably going to be authentic. Now, next up here, we have the Ray-Ban Light Force frames, which is different than the Light Ray. They're called the Light Force, and they're going to be much more stronger here, and they weigh a little bit more than the Light Rays. And the model number here is RB4180, and these, oddly enough, don't say the lens size, but they look like they have 58mm lenses on them. And these are in a really fun color. They made these in a bunch of different colorways, and these are very good and very, very lightweight as well. These are probably maybe 5 grams more than the Light Force, than the Light Ray frames are. These are the Light Force, and because of that, they're kind of more more practical to wear. Next up here we have the Ray-Ban Signet. It's a very old style from Ray-Ban. The model number here is RB3429. These have 58mm lenses. They have all glass lenses, and I really do love these Signet. I especially love vintage Signet frames with the gold frames, and I do have a couple pairs of those, but definitely interesting style. I think they still produce those. And next up here we have the Ray-Ban RB 4258, and these have 52mm lenses, and I believe these have the kind of a classic keyhole style bridge as far as the styling goes. And next up here we have the Ray-Ban round double bridge, model number RB 4346 with 51mm lenses. And again, this is a pair that I probably should get rid of because I never ever wear these frames anymore. Even though I don't hate them, I just don't wear them. They're not really my style anymore. Next up here we have the Ray-Ban RB 2180 with 49mm lenses, a good kind of round acetate pair of frames. Very classic and pretty popular to this day. Next up here we have a pair of Ray-Ban Light Force Wayfarers as well, and these are in a very rare, beautiful kind of tan gold colorway. Again, the model number here is RB4195, and I talked about these being one of my favorites originally with their 52mm lenses. Just a really good looking pair of frames, very lightweight. You can wear these frames all day long without any discomfort, and I really do like this colorway along with the matte black ones that I showed off earlier in the video. But this colorway, again, super discontinued. You can't get these frames at all anywhere, so I do definitely try to take care of those. Next up here we have a made in China pair of Ray-Bans. The model number here is RB3558, and they have 55mm lenses. They say made in China there, and what I really like about these frames is the color of these lenses. They kind of like a ruby red lens, just really beautiful and just really nice. And the frame quality here is actually pretty decent, and the temple quality is pretty good there too, so not a bad pair of frames, even though they are made in China. Next year, I believe these are called the Ray-Ban Boyfriend, model number RB4226, and I could be wrong with these being the Boyfriend. They look very similar. Maybe they're not. But another really good looking pair of frames. I believe these have Pro V8 frames, but again, I could be wrong. Saving one of the best for last, I have one of my all-time favorite Ray-Ban Light Ray frames. These are one of my favorite Aviator styles from Ray-Ban, and these unfortunately don't get nearly as much face time as they should because they are actually quite dirty and dusty, so I do apologize for that. But the model number here is RB 8055. These frames, again, weigh nothing, maybe 8 grams. These frames are stupid lightweight, and I do love the styling of these as well. They have titanium frames. They are part of Ray-Ban's Light Ray series. They are made in Italy, and I love the way that these frames just kind of float on the face. And I love the straight metal titanium bits where they screw the frames directly into the lenses, so they have a rimless design to them. Just a really good looking pair of frames. These frames were very expensive when they were first released. I think around $250 back in like 2014 money. So very expensive, but a very beautiful looking pair of frames. Now these frames cannot handle abuse. If you drop them, if you sit on them, they're going to break, and sometimes you'll be able to fix them and sometimes you will not be able to. I know a couple people who broke these back in the day, so you got to take care of these frames like you're taking care of a baby. And then next up here we have the Ray-Ban Colonel, and these are the model number RB3560, and these have 61mm lenses. Honestly, I completely forgot that I even had these in my collection. I never wear these, and there's not necessarily a reason for that. I never wear these. A lot of these on the table here are some of my frames that I don't wear nearly as much. That's why they're not on display in my house. And last but not least here, we have the Ray-Ban RB 5259F, so it is an Asian fit, and they have 53mm lenses, and these frames are made in Italy, and they have a keyhole style bridge, and this is also a really good looking pair of sunglasses from a Ray-Ban. And yeah, that's it for the collection. I think it was 89 pairs that I said of sunglasses. I had to run through these as quick as I possibly could. because I didn't want to waste your time. So yeah, it's my collection. It's my personal collection. Some of these frames I definitely need to get rid of and sell. Most of these frames I am going to be keeping. But they take up a lot of room and take up a lot of space, and I definitely own more Ray-Bans than I do any other brand. That's because the quality is really good for the most part, for the money, and yeah, they're relatively affordable, and they're very, very popular as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give me a big thumbs up down below. And of course, make sure to hit the subscribe button and then you'll be notified every single time I upload a brand new video just like this one to our YouTube channel. Again, thank you so much for watching this video and I'll catch you all in the next one.